Hey, how's everybody doing? So today I wanted to take a look at my my stereo here with this Jeep Wrangler that I've got. This only started happening yesterday, and I looked up some YouTube videos and I found some similar stuff, but nothing specific to the Wrangler. And so I'm going to link a video down below of a guy that kind of walks through the same process here. He does it, I believe it's on a Patriot or something like that. But they've got a different dashboard on those as opposed to these Wranglers. And so I figured I'd maybe make a video and see if I can get this to work here, and then give a shout out. I don't know the guy's name off by hand here. I think it was Kai something. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you for making that video, and I hope that we can get this working here. So I'm just going to show first what's going on. So when we've got the Jeep on here right now, I should be able to play the radio, right? But if I turn this knob, nothing's going on. I can turn it off, I can turn it on, but nothing's working. I can change the station, but I don't hear nothing. And similarly with the aux cable, I can get it to work if I want to play like Spotify or something, but it's going to cut in and out constantly. So it'll play for 2 seconds and it'll cut out. It'll play for 2 seconds, it'll cut out. And so my understanding is we got to take this whole piece off here, all this plastic. It's one big giant piece that we got to take off to get at the stereo, and then fix a little piece in there. So I'm gonna walk you guys through it here. Alright, so the first step here is to get these guys off, and so I've already got them rotated here to take them out, but I'm gonna walk you through how exactly this works here, because it's a bit of a process. So the best way for me to describe this is that these vents always have that Jeep logo at the top, and so if you turn your inside vent, I'm not going to be able to get it on camera here, but I'll show you on the one I've already taken out right away. But basically, when you feel in here, you want to feel for a little square hole, and if you don't feel it, you want to turn it around, and it should be there. And yeah, I feel it in there. And so basically you're looking for a little hole down in there, and it comes up in here. So you see that little hole from the top? So essentially what you're looking to do is to get something up into this little hole here. And then once you get up in there, you want to pry down a little bit. And just be gentle, obviously, you don't want to break anything, but just pry that down a bit. And that's going to loosen it up enough that you can then twist the whole thing to the left. So I'm going to show you here on this one. Alright, so you can see it there. I've got that little hole lined up right where I need it. And then I'm going to put my tool in there. Alright, so now that I've got my tool up in there, I'm going to just slightly push down on it, or up actually, to apply downward pressure. And you can see the whole thing twists here. So I'm going to get my tool out. So now I've got this thing twisted, and I can just pull on it. Come on. There we go. I just had to twist it a little further. But yeah, so you're going to get in there, twist it, and then pull this right out. And so now I've got this one out here already. I think you could see earlier I got these ones out. And so now the next step, got you on my lap here. This is hard to do with one person, but we're just popping that guy out. Alright, so you can get a look at that here. So we're going to have to pry that little piece out. So we got that switch off. And then we're just going to take this. Alright, so I wasn't able to show it on camera, unfortunately, but basically you want to slide this out to your left, and then there's this little lever here that you're going to push down on and pull this out away from you. So we basically are left with this here. Alright, so you can see now, we've got that 7mm bolt in there that we've got to loosen up. Sorry, my lighting, it's a bit rough here in the garage, but I think I got that on there. So I'm just going to get this in here. Again, that's a 7mm. We're going to loosen that up. And I'm just going to put that in a cup holder here so we don't lose that. Alright, so next up what we got to do is take this whole piece of plastic off here. You can see I've already started prying this off. So you just want to be kind of careful with it. But you're basically taking it off from the top here. Go around the other side. I adjusted my steering wheel all the way to the top, and that way I can get in here easier. We're going to get in and get 2 more 7mm bolts out. So there's the one right up there, and then we got the other one right up there. So I'm going to see if I can do this here. Alright, so there's the first one. Right in there is the second one. You'll be able to see this easier when you do it yourself. But now, last thing we've got to do is one more 7mm right up here. Now you got this plastic rubber piece here. And you can see it's pretty loose, but you just want to yank on it a bit. There we go. Got some stuff in there I gotta clean out. And that's going to expose this last one right up here. That should be good enough. There we are. Alright, so I went ahead and lowered my steering wheel. And now I'm just going to start prying on stuff here. So just gently go into the corner. There's that first one. There we go. Now it feels like you're breaking everything, but you're not. Next up, what we're going to do is take out these 4 little bolts here. Now those are also 7mm. There we are. And so I'm just going to take those out by hand. Now I started kind of pulling on this radio, and you're going to notice it's on there pretty good. Yeah, you got to kind of really push on it, or pull on it, sorry. And try not to drop it here with my one hand. Well, there we are. And so you can see we've got 3 fasteners there. One for the radio, one for the satellite, and then the main power one there. So I'm going to see if I can put my camera down and disconnect those. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one first. Oh, that's actually 2 of them there. So again, you're just pushing up from the bottom up, that little clamp there, and then it'll pull right out. It's almost like an Ethernet cable. We got the same thing on these 2 here. Alright, so again, I wasn't really able to show that very well with my one-man operation here, but basically we've got it all taken apart here now. And so now there's our radio, stereo, and we're gonna go ahead and take this thing apart now. Alright, so I went ahead and brought this whole unit inside here to do the rest of what we're going to be doing here. And so next up, we got to take this whole front plate off. Alright, so now when we're doing that, all you're doing is kind of loosening that up a bit. You're not actually going to be pulling this off. The way you really need to do it is to pry from the side here. Now I left my flathead outside, but I've got this designated butter knife that you can see I've used in the past for stuff just like this. And so if you've got one of these, go ahead and just push that in there. Just pry that side off. Go ahead and do this side, and you can see what we're doing. We're basically popping this little plastic part out. So get it in there, kind of twist it a bit. Want to be bending it up. There we go. It should come fairly easy. If it's not coming easily, just take your time with it, because you don't want to bend this plate up too much here. As you can see, I did a little bit, but aside from that, it just kind of pops off from there. Alright, so I went ahead and put some cardboard down just because I don't want to scratch up my table here, so that might be a good first step for you guys. So now, what we're going to do is take these screws out, and you're going to use a T10. Get those off. I believe there's 2 or 4 more on the top. Alright. Take those guys out. Those are tiny, so you're going to want to put those in a safe place as always. Now, what we got to do is take this front plate off. And so there's these little, kind of similar here, those metal parts on both sides. There we go. We're going to push those in and take that whole plate off. So I'm going to see if I can get that on camera here. Alright, so I'm not going to lie to you guys, this top plate was real tough for me to get off of here. With the help of a second hand, them pushing against here, and then me pressing against these metal kind of locks here that they have. Just press against those and pull up from the back of that metal plate there. Use this leverage to pull up. A little bit on this side, then a little bit on that side, a little bit on this side, and eventually it popped right out. If you get enough of a hole in there, you can use that as leverage to pop that plate off, and then it comes out pretty easily. But just so you know, that's a bit of a pain. You might want to get a second hand to help you out there. But now that we're at the top here, now we're going to start being pretty careful with this because we don't want to mess anything up here. We took these front two off. Now we've got to take that one. We're going to take those off. Now again, those are just T10s. So we're going to go ahead. Little tiny delicate screws. And so now we can take this whole top plate off. Now just be kind of careful here. We've got this cord down here. There we go. And there's that little clip down there. You want to get that out. Now again, you just press down on this clip here and yank it out. Now, the way that I saw Kai there do it was to use an actual solder gun to heat that up. Basically what's happened is the glue that they used is making it come loose, and you got to reheat it. I'm using this kebab stick here to push that down a little bit. Now I'm going to take a risk here and use this candle lighter. Now we're going to see how this works. Now I have my lighter set at the lowest setting I can, so I don't want a giant flame in there, I just want the heat. So I'm just kind of gently going around it there, heating it up. Again, I'm not touching the flame to the actual anything really, I just want to heat it up there. And we're going to go ahead and hold this down. I'm going to press that down for a good 15 seconds there. Alright, so that should be it. So now we're just going to go ahead and put this all back together here. So first things first, put that clip back in there. We're going to go ahead and put back these T10 screws back in there. We'll pop that plate on, do the two front ones again. Alright, so I went ahead and put everything back together here. It all snaps back in pretty easily, and we're going to go test it out now. Alright guys, so I put everything back together here. I reconnected there's the two wires here, and then the satellite and the radio. They just plug right back in, obviously. And I put this back in here, and it still wouldn't work for me. And so I tried something as a last-ditch effort, and I'm going to give you guys this tip here. In case it's not working for you and you think nothing else is working, the last-ditch effort that I did here is you're going to turn your Jeep off completely, open your door, close it again. Now you're going to put your key in to the on position, and you're going to go ahead and press the voice button and the phone button together at the same time. I'm not going to do it again because I don't want to mess it up here, but you're going to hold both of these in at the same time, and you're going to hold those in for a full 30 seconds. And what that does, it completely resets your Uconnect system on your Jeep. As soon as you hold that down for 30 seconds, you're going to turn it off again, open your door, and it should be reset. Now try that out, and before you put everything back together, that's why I did it here, and unfortunately I forgot to record it, but before you put everything back together, just to make sure it's working for you. And if not, you might want to take this back out, heat it up again, and hold it down again. Just keep trying it until it works for you. That would be my best advice. Because honestly, I'm pretty sure that's the only way to fix this thing. And if you're going to buy a new one anyway, you may as well go ahead and take it all apart on an afternoon and see if you can get it to work. Once you verify that this is working, I'm just going to go ahead now and start putting everything back together. I'm going to start with these screws here, and then go ahead and put this big plastic piece back over top. I'm sure if you got this far, you get the idea. Alright, those are all in, and we're going to go ahead and put these screws back in. So we got these 7mm ones. Again, you got the one up here, and then the two beside the steering wheel here, one there and on the other side. Just gonna go ahead and put this last one in here, this vent. You're gonna want to put that Jeep logo to the top and facing to the left a bit so it slides in. And then once you get it in there, you're just gonna kind of grab on these kind of grips here, twist it to the right, and those are locked back in. And so everything's put back together. I got all the screws back in. I'm just gonna verify one last time that we're working. Look at that. Some awesome music for us. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and link that video, like I said in the my video description. I'm going to go ahead and link an Amazon link to the solder gun that he recommends using. And yeah, maybe I'll link a few parts down there in case some of you guys don't have, maybe like the T10 or I don't know, just a few random parts. I'll link everything in the description. You guys can check it out. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helps you out. Happy Jeeping, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.